Greetings, my name is Kerry and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about a couple of readathons I'm going to be taking part in September. You will notice I'm in a slightly different location. That is partly due to light and partly due to needing to charge my phone, and this is the best room for charging and filming at the same time. And that's just a quick aside. So I'm going to be talking about my TBRs for a couple of readathons that I'm going to hopefully be taking part in September. They are running at the same time, but fortunately their prompts are very similar, so I can double up my TBR and hopefully do both. The first is called Vaultathon, which is hosted by Margaret from The Word Nerd. This is a Disney-themed readathon where every couple of months there'll be another round focusing on a different film from the Disney back catalogue, generally films that were underappreciated. So the theme for this readathon is Big Hero 6, which is actually one of my favourite Disney movies, and I agree it's very, very underappreciated. It's an amazing film, an excellent film. So the dates for that readathon are the 16th to the 22nd of September. And there is going to be a group film night as well, which will be on the 21st of September, which we'll be watching the film. I probably won't be watching it at the same time as everyone else because of time zones. The time it's running is going to be in the middle of the night for my time zone, so I'm probably going to watch it a little bit earlier. And there's also a group book which is called Renegades, and that's by Marissa and Meyer. And I don't have a copy yet, but I'm hopefully picking up from the library in a couple of days. That group book actually meets all of the challenges, but there are 6 prompts, so I'm going to go through them now. But I'm not going to talk just yet about what books I'm going to be reading for it, because I'm going to double up when I tell you about the other readathon, and then I'll do the books at the same time, if that makes sense. So the first prompt is San Francisco, which is a book with a futuristic setting. The second book is Nerd School, which is a book with a dynamic friend group. The third is Tadashi Hamada, which is a book about family. The fourth is Underground Bot Fight, which is a book containing a secret or secrets. The fifth is Baymax, a book with an unlikely hero. And the 6th and final prompt is Big Hero 6, a book recommended by a friend. As I mentioned, Renegades does fit all that prompts. If I don't manage to get hold of that, then I have other books that hopefully will double up on some of those prompts as well. So that's first readathon. The second readathon is Tome Infinity Round 3, which is taking place from the 13th to the 30th of September, so it's just over 2 weeks, and that is hosted by Megan from Tome Infinity. This is going to be a group readathon, and the idea is to read science fiction books from around the world. This is the third round of Tome Infinity. In the first round, we had to leave the Earth because it was being destroyed, and so we had to find a new planet to settle on. The second round, we were building up our civilization, and now in the third round, we're going back in time to try and prevent the Earth from being destroyed. 4 teams. I'll see if I can remember them. There's natural disaster, supernatural, warfare, and disease. I haven't definitely settled on which team I'm going to be joining yet, but I think it's probably going to be based on which of the group books I can get hold of. So each team has a group book. So that is for Team Natural Disaster, it's the 5th season by N.K. Jemisin. For Team Supernatural, it's The City in the Middle of the Night. I can't remember the author for that one. For Team Warfare, it's Ancillary Justice by Leckie. And for Team Disease, it's a book called Blindness, and again, I can't remember the author's name. Based on what I can get from the library, I think I'm probably going to be joining Team Warfare because Ancillary Justice is available at the moment at the same library that Renegades is, so I'm hopefully going to be able to pick both of them up in the next couple of days. If not, I'm going to try and request A City in the Middle of the Night. That probably won't be available to me until closer to the end of September, so I may not get it in time. So I'm probably going to settle for Team Warfare anyway, as I'm more likely to be able to get hold of that book, but I'm not going to actually sign up to a team until I found out if I can get that book. So I was unsure as to whether to join in Tome Infinity because I really struggle with reading books of the same genre back to back, and this is a science fiction based readathon, but the fact that it's focusing on different countries, different continents, and authors from around the world actually is an idea that I really want to support and get behind, because there's a lot about diverse reading, and I do try and read really diversely, and this will actually really help me tick off some more countries for my read around the world, hopefully. I've picked a book for each continent, and as I go through and tell you which books they are, I'll also tell you if I'm going to be using them for any of the prompts for Vaultathon at the same time. The first book I'm going to try and get hold of again is Renegades, which will tick off North America as a continent, and that covers all the prompts for the Vaultathon readathon. The second book, which will be for South America, I'm going to be reading a book hopefully called Fever Dream by Samantha Scweblin, I think is how you say that, who's an author from Argentina. I've got that as an ebook from my library at the moment. Hopefully I'll be reading that. I think it's technically slightly more towards horror than science fiction, which worries me slightly, but it was really, really difficult to find a book for South America that fits the science fiction genre. This was recommended by Spine Breakers. I'm going to link their recommendations video actually, because they've got a lot of great ideas if you want to take part in this readathon, and I will also be linking the announcement videos for both readathons as well, so you can find them if you want to go and join in. Next, for Africa, I am going to be reading Who Fears Death by Nnedi Okorafor. She is Nigerian American, so I'm counting that towards Nigeria. I've read a couple of her books before and really love her work, so I'm really excited to read this. I've been wanting to read it for ages, and it's only just actually come out in the UK, so I've been waiting to get my hands on this for a really long time. I'm really looking forward to reading that for Africa. And also, I think I was going to use it for the prompt Unlikely Hero for the Vaultathon readathon. Based on the blurb, I think that would fit the prompt of an Unlikely Hero. Next, for Asia, I'm going to be reading Never Let Me Go by Kazuo Ishiguro. So this has been on my TBR for a really long time. Kazuo Ishiguro is British Japanese, so he was born in Japan but then raised in the UK, so I'm counting that as being Asian. This is sort of a dystopian novel as far as I'm aware, so I'm going to count it for Asia for Tome Infinity, but also I can count it for Dynamic Friend Group because I get the impression it's about a close-knit group of students who are friends, and for a book with secrets as well. Then for Europe, I'm going to be reading Out of the Silent Planet by C.S. Lewis. Again, this has been on my TBR for ages. C.S. Lewis is one of my favourite non-fiction authors, and I also love the Narnia books. I've been reluctant to read these because I understand that there's some problematic attitudes towards women in the series, but I've been really wanting to get around to them. So this is the first book in the Space Trilogy by C.S. Lewis. I'm using that for Europe because obviously he's British, and can also use it for a book recommended by a friend for the Vaultathon because my dad said that I would probably enjoy these books, and a few other booktubers and book bloggers that I follow have also recommended this book. For Oceania or Australasia, I'm going to be reading Obsidio by Amie Kaufman and J. Kristoff. They are Australian authors. This is the third book in the Illuminate files. I read the first book, Illuminate, for the first round of Tome Infinity, so it feels quite poetic to be reading the final one for this round. I've really loved this series so far, so I'm really keen to read it. This also ticks off quite a lot of prompts. In fact, I think this one also meets all of the prompts for Vaultathon. Futuristic setting, dynamic friend group. I think it features some of the characters that have been in the first couple of books that have built up quite good friendships. It's about family because there are a lot of family dynamics, or at least there have been in the first two books, so I'm assuming there will be in this book as well. Again, it's the whole secret thing about the Baytech invasion, and so I think that will work for a book with a secret. The main characters often come out to be quite heroic when they don't seem that they're going to be in the first place, and also Aiden is an unlikely hero. Aiden, the artificial intelligence, I'm gathering he features in this book as well, and recommended by a friend. This book series I picked up because of BookTube, because of people recommend it on BookTube, and some of those I would say I'm slightly friendly with, so I'm counting it anyway. So actually, yeah, quite happy that this meets all of the prompts for Vaultathon, as well as being another country for Tome Infinity. I keep wanting to say read around the world, and some of these will count towards read around the world as well, which is really helpful. Finally, for Tome Infinity, you can read a book set in Antarctica. It doesn't have to be by an author from Antarctica because no one lives there. So I picked up a reread for this. This is Brother in Ice by Alicia. So this is loosely, I would say, science fiction. It's fiction and it refers to science quite a lot in it. So half of the book is about the main character's relationship with her brother who has autism, and then the other half is her researching into Scott's expedition to Antarctica. I read this just over a year ago and there was quite a lot in there, so I didn't take it all in, so I've been wanting to reread it for a while. I think you get bonus points in the Tome Infinity readathon, if I remember correctly, for reading books containing various diverse characteristics. So this book features a character who is neurodivergent, so I think that will get me some diversity points. I can't remember exactly all the details, but as I say, I will link Megan's announcement video for Tome Infinity and Margaret's announcement video for Vaultathon, so you can go and check out all the details if you want to join in either or both of these readathons. That's my TBR. I've just picked one book for each country. I don't know if I'll get through all of them. I'm not sure what order I'm going to read them in, but we'll see how we go. I'm a little bit nervous, particularly about Tome Infinity, because I've not taken part in a group readathon before, so I don't want to let my team down. Not that I've actually picked a team yet, but never mind. Check back in at the end of September to see how I've got on with both those readathons, as I may or may not vlog them. Let me know if you want to see that. Let me know if you've read any of these books and what you thought of them, or if you have any other recommendations for any different continents, for any science fiction from around the world. And let me know if you're taking part in either of these readathons and what your TBRs are. I'd love to hear about that. But that's it for today. Just a quick one to let you know what I'm planning to read, some of the books I'm planning to read in September. So thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye!